They call me honorable. I like the sound of that. It's the only honest lie I tell every day. You see, I am Governor Enzo de la Vega of San Isidro, Provenza, proud man who serves the people. And by serve, I mean I serve myself first, and let the leftovers trickle down like rainwater into clogged canals. Every June, when the skies start to pour, I smile. Rain means opportunity. Floods mean funding. And in this country, nothing brings in the money like a good disaster. The people drown. The news cries. The president shakes his head on TVN. I approve another flood control project. Billions. Always billions. That's the beauty of water, it's everywhere. So you can never say the project's truly done. My Mondays always start with coffee and complaints. Not from the citizens. Mind you, from my contractors. Governor, our cement supplier wants a bigger cut. Governor, the engineers union is asking for an extra bonus. Governor, can we skip the quality test again? I just nod, smile, and tell them the same thing. Gentlemen, corruption only works if it looks like cooperation. Then we head to work. There's the bidding, of course. Officially, there are 10 companies competing. Unofficially, they all belong to my cousins, my mistresses, or my driver's uncle's dog. The government loves paperwork, so I give them mountains of it. Bidding documents, feasibility studies, soil reports, all copied and pasted from last year's scam. The key to flood control is recycling. Recycling excuses, recycling invoices, recycling the same broken drainage system year after year. And when the commission on audit visits, easy. I send them gift baskets. I don't mean cheap ham and cheese, I mean envelopes thick enough to clog any conscience. Sometimes I'll visit project sites for photo ops. I put on a hard hat, hold a sobel, and pretend to care while the cameras click. Behind me, a backhoe scoops some mud for 5 minutes, just enough for the footage. Then we all go home. The project, it gets delayed indefinitely due to unforeseen weather conditions. The weather is always unforeseen in the Philippines. It's the perfect excuse. By the time the next election comes, the same flood returns. The people demand action again. And guess who they re-elect? Me, of course. Because I'm the only one who did something about it. I always say, a good politician never solves the problem. He manages it. Solve the problem, and you lose your income stream. But keep it alive, and you become indispensable. At home, my wife, Isabel, pretends not to notice my phone buzzing every night. She knows it's not the contractors calling. It's Carla, or Micah, or whoever I met at a campaign rally last week. They say power is the ultimate aphrodisiac. I say it's taxpayer money. My eldest son Marco drives a car worth more than an entire barangay's annual budget. He once hit a tricycle and blamed the driver for existing. My lawyer fixed it in 2 hours. My daughter, B, studies in Europe. Her Instagram caption says, "Manifesting luxury." I always comment, "Courtesy of your father's flood control projects, she hearts Italiano." My youngest, Enzo Jr., failed college twice, but got accepted into the government youth council. Public service, I told him, is the family business. You'd think people would hate me, and they do for about 3 days. Then the flood waters dry up, and they move on. That's the magic of the Filipino attention span. They rant online, post memes, tag my page, curse my name, and then they line up for the food relief. I personally brand with my face. Corruption isn't about stealing. It's about storytelling. You rob them, then you make them thank you for it. One time, we held a groundbreaking ceremony for a 200 million peso flood diversion canal. The land was still private property, but I didn't care. The owner complained, so we gave him a job as a consultant. That's what we call inclusion. Of course, the project was never finished, but we did finish the budget. By the time the public realized what happened, another typhoon hit and washed away all the evidence. Nature, my best accomplice. There was a journalist, once a brave woman, who tried to expose me. She took photos of my hidden villas in Tagate, my son's imported cars. Her article was fiery, full of facts, It went viral for 2 whole days. Then something even more viral happened, a celebrity breakup. People forgot, but she didn't. She's now running a small cafe somewhere in Bug. I visit sometimes, order coffee, and tip well. I'm not heartless, I'm just practical. You might be wondering, do I ever feel guilty? Of course not. I'm a politician in the Philippines. Guilt is optional. Besides, everyone does it. From the barangay captain pocketing parking fees to the senator approving ghost schools. I just play the game better. The flood control racket is foolproof. Step 1. Wait for rain. Step 2. Declare an emergency. Step 3. Fast-track contracts for the people. Step 4. Divide the pie. Repeat annually. Had ribbon-cutting ceremonies for flavor. But lately, I've felt something strange. Not guilt. No irritation. The people are getting louder. The youth, especially. They're posting drone videos of unfinished canals. They're demanding transparency reports. They're even questioning my children's posts online. I told my staff, it's fine, they'll get tired. But they didn't. Last year, protesters marched outside the Capitol with signs that said, "We deserve better." I laughed. "You deserve me," I muttered. Then someone threw mud at my SUV. Mud. The irony, it didn't damage the car, but it damaged my pride. So I ordered a cleanup operation. Not for the flood, but for the protest site. Months later, the ombudsman invited me for questioning about missing funds. I sent my lawyer, my accountant, and a few complimentary gift baskets. A week later, the report said, case dismissed due to lack of evidence. Of course it was. The evidence was under 6 feet of water in the San Isidro River. Justice in this country moves slower than our drainage. Still, something changed. My youngest son's drunk driving incident went viral. My wife left for Singapore for peace of mind. And one night, my favorite contractor disappeared, just gone. No trace. The whispers said he'd turned whistleblower. Dat scared me, not because of the law, but because I hate surprises. Then, during one heavy downpour, I decided to inspect one of my completed projects myself. The road was flooded halfway up my SUV door. Citizens were wading through the water, shouting my name, not in praise. Someone threw a stone, then another. My bodyguards fired in the air, and I yelled, "Stop!" They're just angry. But deep down I knew they weren't angry at the flood. They were angry at me. The next day, social media exploded with footage. Governor trapped in his own flood. The comments were brutal. Poetic justice. Serve him right. Hope he swims in his own corruption. For the first time, I was trending for the wrong reason. Did I panic? No. I smiled. Because in politics, even bad publicity can win elections. The next week I held a press conference, promising a new anti-flood initiative. And guess what? More funding approved. It's been 20 years now. I've survived 3 administrations, 4 scandals, and 12 The people still complain. The floods still come. And every time it rains, I look at the water rising and think, that's my profit overflowing. Sometimes, in quiet moments, I stand on my balcony overlooking the city lights of San Isidro. The streets glisten from another storm, and I whisper, thank you, Mother Nature. Because every drop of rain is another reason to rebuild, rebudget, and re-earn. They say, the flood never ends. Nater do I. I am Governor Enzo de la Vigada, master of flood control, the king of chaos, the businessman of disaster, and as long as the Philippines floods, my fortune flows. Thank you for listening. If this story made you think, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more stories that need to be told. See you next time.